EA Sports have released their rankings for the top 10 offenses in the new College Football 26 video game, and they aren't the best that I've seen this year. Today we're going to be diving into this list, rearranging a few of these teams, adding some new ones in, and taking some out to deliver to you my top 10 offenses for the upcoming 2025 college football season, the real top 10 offenses for this year, which will obviously be way better. But as always, welcome back, capital F football fans, to the O&O Sports YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and comment down below your top 10 offenses for this upcoming season. And with that, let's go ahead and get into this list, starting with the teams that I'm leaving off. The first team is going to be the Florida Gators, who EA Sports has as the 9th ranked offense this year. I think the Gators offense could be much improved next year. I love DJ Lagway as a quarterback. I think he could be a top 5 quarterback in the SEC if all goes well. And they've got a couple more solid assets on that team, but I just don't believe they've had quite enough additions to warrant a top 10 rating this season, seeing as they were just the 48th ranked team nationally in terms of yards per play last season. And the second team I'm leaving off that EA has all the way at number 4 is going to be the Arizona State Sun Devils, which may come as a shock to you, but I just don't believe you can lose a guy like Cam Scadabo, who's responsible for over 50% of the offense last year, and return to form or be better than they were last season. And I do think the combination of Sam Leavitt, Jordan Tyson, and Kanye Ito could be very good again in the Big 12. But 4th overall in the country, I just am not buying that. And starting off our list, we have the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at 10, who EA has listed at 8th. Not too much of a disagreement there. I really like Jeremiah Love and that rushing offense again this year. I see him as a potential Heisman candidate if he stays healthy. And I think CJ Carr could be a very good quarterback, but I don't see him necessarily being vastly better than Riley Leonard was last year. He has the tools to be an elite quarterback one day, especially with Mike Denbrock as their offensive coordinator, but I'm just not sure that receiver room, although very good, will lend him the kind of comfort and wiggle room that a lot of the other receiver rooms in the country will afford other quarterbacks this year. And the Irish do lose a good bit of depth on the offensive line. Still overall a very good unit, which is why I have them at 10. I just don't think they're capable of being as good as they were last season. And at 9, I have the Alabama Crimson Tide, who EA has at 7. Again, not a huge disagreement. I think Ty Simpson is inheriting one of, if not the best wide receiver room in the country, which will be crucial for him and that offense as a whole. I think that offensive line at the very least should be one of the best in the SEC again this year. I'm just probably not as high on this running back room as EA might be, but with that, Kalen DeBoer brings in Ryan Grubb to be the Tide's next offense coordinator, and historically, Kalen DeBoer's offenses have been a lot better when Grubb is there leading the charge, which could catapult them into the top 5 this year, but for now, we're sticking with the Tide at 9. And at 8, we have the Oregon Ducks, who EA have listed all the way down at 19th in the country, which I believe is just a big disservice to the squad. While they do lose a ton of production in that receiver room mainly, they do load back up with elite talent this season. I think they arguably upgrade at running back as well, with Mekhi Hughes taking over for Jordan James. Noah Whittington returns. All around great unit there. And I think they might have also upgraded at the O-line. But most importantly, I have faith in that staff to develop Dante Moore into a very, very good starter in the Big Ten. He's entering his 3rd season in college football, and he sat behind Dylan Gabriel, who, if you forgot, somehow was a Heisman candidate last year. He's had time to figure out the system, so overall I'm very confident in him and the staff to get back to where they were last year. Probably not to the extreme heights they saw last year, but that is why I have them at 8th. And at 7, I have the Oklahoma Sooners, who might come as a surprise to you. EA has them listed at 14th, and the Sooners are coming off a pretty big down year for the program, and a lot of that was due to the offense, so you might be thinking, how in the world do you have them at 7? And long story short, they bring in one of the most underrated quarterback coordinator duos in the country in Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer. They bring in Jaden Ott to strengthen that running back room, a running back room that was already very deep in my opinion. And they also add a lot of depth through the portal to that receiver room that was also very underrated. I think they will take a massive step forward this year with the new squad that they have coming into the season, and I believe that warrants a rating of 7th in the country. And at 6th, let's talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes, who EA has listed inside the top 3 in 2025. And I do think Julian Sayin could be very, very nice for this team. I'm just not sure they're going to live up to the heights of 2024 as an offense, at least. They averaged 6.8 yards per play last season, which was good for 4th in the country. And it's just hard for me to believe that they're going to lose Will Howard, Travion Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins, Emeka Egbuka, and their offensive coordinator Chip Kelly to the NFL and still be in that top tier this year. They still should be amazing, just like most of the teams on this list. You're going to be top 10 for a reason. And I don't want to forget Jeremiah Smith. He's still there. He should provide a lot of support for Julian Sayin and the rest of that offense. And they do return some valuable assets like Jordan Peoples at running back. But overall, that is why I have this unit at 6th. And at 5, I have the Miami Hurricanes, who EA has listed at 10. And I actually think this squad is a little bit underrated coming into this year. Now, I know all of the production that they lost, it's a lot. But in my opinion, what they've gained is almost as good as what they had last year. They're going to have one of the strongest lines in the ACC. They'll have former Heisman candidate Carson Beck passing the ball. And I think the change of scenery will do him wonders personally. And on top of that, he's going to have an insanely deep running back room to take the weight off his shoulders with a really strong group of pass catchers as well. Be on the lookout for the Hurricanes to be back in the ACC title picture this year and potentially the playoff picture as well again this year. And at 4, it's none other than the Penn State Nittany Lions, who EA has at number 2 overall. And it's very easy to see why. Probably the best running back twosome in the sport. They maintain a solid O-line and depth at the O-line. And they, of course, bring back Drew Aller. And I think the reason I have them a bit lower is going to be the pass catchers. It's obviously not a bad room. They've upgraded massively overall at that position. I just think losing Tyler Warren, a guy who was Drew Aller's favorite target last year, isn't going to lend well for this offense this season. He could find a new favorite target in one of those new wide receivers. I really like Trevor Pena on this team. And there's lots of experience in that room overall, and that is why they are going to be 4th. And at 3, it is the Clemson Tigers, who EA has at 5 and who I really like all around this year. They're my pick for the ACC's top O-line this year. Cade Klubnik, of course, returns, the 4,000-yard man from last year. The quartet of TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, Antonio Williams, and Tyler Brown might be the best wide receiver quartet in the sport this year. And they have a very talented running back room, although they do lose a good bit of experience there. And in Garrett Riley's 3rd year as an offensive coordinator, in my opinion, this is where he's going to take the jump. I think they take a big step forward into one of the nation's best offenses with all that talent surrounding Cade Klubnik, which is why they're coming in at 3rd on the list. And at 2, it's another Tiger, the LSU Tigers, who EA has all the way down at 6th. And this one is really easy for me. I think one of 2 guys will win the Heisman this year, and one of them is Garrett Nussmeier. He tore it up last year for LSU, and he's probably the best quarterback in the pocket overall in the country. And on top of that, LSU revamps its receiver room. Nick Anderson and Barrion Brown join the fold, who are 2 elite wide receivers. The running back room is fairly young, but if utilized correctly, I think Caden Durham could be one of the best backs in the SEC this year. All around amazing stuff for this program. I'm very, very high on Garrett Nussmeier this year, and that is why they're going to come in at number 2. And at number 1, taking the crown of our list, and who I am in agreement with EA for the first time in this video, I have the Texas Longhorns. Arch Manning might be my favorite to win the Heisman this year. He's an elite playmaker, can make stuff happen both with his arm and with his feet at an elite level. And he's going to be playing behind a restructured but still very impressive Texas offensive line, alongside one of the deepest running back rooms in the sport. Trey Wisner returns, CJ Baxter returns, and they also return DeAndre Moore and Ryan Wingo, two elite wide receivers from last season. And on top of that, they add a bunch of depth in that room out of high school. It's still a young room for sure, but still elite in my opinion, and that is why the Longhorns are rounding out the video at number 1. And with that, thank you for watching. As always, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments down below if you want to see me re-rank EA's defense list, and we will see you in the next one.